everyone. Welcome to this very special New Year's edition of Truth Noir. Um, I am here with a very special guest today. I know we usually talk about like kind of doom and gloom stuff and everything that's wrong with the world, but I met this gentleman here, Mr. Josof Sanchez, and he's involved in a program working with inner city kids, and I wanted to do something positive today to start kicking off the new year. So I'm glad I met you a couple weeks ago and were able to put this together. So to just jump right into it, we got Operation Street Kidz here, which is your program.
That's
that you
correct.
run.
Operation Street Kids. Basically, I choose to believe that all children matter. All children matter. I choose to believe that we don't have a youth problem. I believe we have an adult problem. And I believe that our young people are the greatest gift that we possess. And having the right mentors, the right dream builders that can build them, the right hope producers that can place hope in them, can get them to understand the greatness that's within them, the champion within them, so that they can come back and give to the community at large. I believe that every person is a philanthropist. I believe that a philanthropist is not about the green and the gold and the money. I believe that a true philanthropist is someone that gives, gives back. Everything today is give me, give me, give me, give me. I'll take, 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 take. That attitude must be alleviated in the minds of the children. So Operation Street Kids is just that. I look at operation as a physician, as a doctor, going into an emergency room and having to really be astute in bringing life to that individual.
Sure.
It's a matter of life and death with many of our kids today. What we're seeing, the tragedy of the gang violence, the drug addiction, the failures to accomplish higher education. Many of them just don't care. So Operation Street Kids, we're involved. Basically, it's called the Philanthropy Kids Club. And what we
Okay.
do is we work directly with media, entertainment, arts, and the sports. That's the key. And we utilize that as a carrot to take kids into an understanding that they are engineered for greatness. And they must release that greatness so that they can turn around and touch somebody that's in need.
All right. Excellent. Yeah, definitely something the world needs a lot more of these days, and there's not enough people that are trying to really find solutions to these problems before, you know, crime, poverty, whatever it is
It's called prevention. We spend billions, literally billions of dollars, in what they call intervention.
mhm.
Lock them up, throw the key away. I believe that you don't teach a human being, you don't teach anyone in a electric chair. You teach them
Right.
in a high chair. You teach them in a high chair, and that's where it begins. You teach the child, and one of the things that we need to take a look at also is the phenomenon of homelessness right now. I say poverty sucks. It sucks all the greatness out of people in general, and the crises become so intense that it develops issues in the home. Eventually, the father leaves. I mean, today we're looking at least 60% of kids that have no dad in the house.
Sure.
I was assigned by Gloria Molina as a probation um, officer. I worked as a probation. I went in there and I handled all the juvenile detention centers, and it was quite an eye awakening. Though I went through that system,
Oh, really?
and yeah, but as I went there, it was amazing to as a commissioner, as a probation commissioner, which gave me the ability to oversee with 12 other individuals the health and welfare of the kids that are incarcerated. Uh, I would say that probably 85 to 90 had no parents, had maybe one single parent,
Right.
and so Um, the beauty is that there are some great people out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it seems to me like that all of these circumstances, that people are faced with, they create stress, and then that stress compounds and it
Absolutely.
creates conflict, and
Absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
you have these kind of spiraling out of control issues. And I'm glad that you guys are doing what you're doing, and I want to hear more about it, because it seems like that spiraling can also go in the other way
That's right.
to promote positive things going on in the
Absolutely.
community also. So
I've worked, I give a seminar to many of these kids. We have a sponsorship where the kids come and we basically embrace them and we begin to teach them, skills. And the first skill that we teach is the negative jigo and positive jigo. Now, jigo is a technology word. It's a computer word. Jigo, garbage in and garbage out.
okay.
Okay, so negative jigo is garbage in and garbage out. Positive jigo is greatness in and greatness out.
Nice.
And how do you take greatness in? Is by hanging out with great people.
Sure.
All right, hanging out with people that really really care. You see, greatness is nothing more than doing something beautiful for someone that's less fortunate than yourself. That's true greatness. And whenever I look down on somebody, it's when I reach my hand out to raise him up and make him greater than me. And so this is where we begin. We begin to do what we call a destiny review. We sit down with the child, whoever wants to come. It's all free of charge. The kid can come, and then we begin to mentor these kids and the parent. You see, it's called a 5 minute mentor. The 5 minute mentor, which I came up with, it was that the child that who or the teenager, the one that's incarcerated, the one that's maybe having problems at school, the ones that are I just have no direction at all. If he wants to come and be part of what we do, because we mentor through filmmaking, we mentor through music, we mentor through connecting them with the their so-called heroes,
Sure.
and,
Yeah.
and so and we begin to connect them. But in order to connect them, they have to abide by our structure. There's rules to this game, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah, like
and the
with anything
rules,
else.
right? To the rules of this game is, look, man, if you're doing D's and F's, then in a month I want at least a letter from the teacher telling me that you're really beginning to make a change. Just your posture and just showing up to school.
Sure.
You see,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Start where you can.
Right, right. If you do that, then I'm gonna take you on, and then the 5 minute mentor pops in. That means on Mondays you give me a call to let me know how the weekend was. On Wednesdays, you let me know how you're feeling because you're going into the weekends. And for young people, weekends is party nights.
Right.
Weekends is, let's go out to the mall, let's do our thing out there. That's where all the action happens.
Right.
In my research, I found that in LA County alone, there are over 2,000 teenagers from 18 to 12 that are either ticketed or they're arrested for one night at the police station here in LA County. 2,000.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, that's a lot. By Monday, they'll be coming home. But guess what? They're under the system now. So what we do with the 5 minute mentor is we make sure that they call in or they text me telling me I'm doing fine, or you know what, Joe, this is how I'm feeling. So immediately I'm able to send somebody to them, or I'm able to go personally to find out what's going on here. I have no clothes, I have no food. My mom's fighting with my dad. And so there's been a death down the street. And I'm tormented. So
Yeah.
then with those type of issues, and they do the 5 minute mentor anytime at night, and I let them know, man. If it's at 3 in the morning, go for it. But I want to know. I want to make sure that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, man, you're giving me a jingle through the 5 minute mentor.
Sure.
And then I begin to find the people that can embrace them. And so basically, that's one of the keys of the dynamics of what we do. We've basically began to do a mentoring through filmmaking. Now, Placido Domingo the opera, the great opera singer,
Oh,
right?
tenor, right?
He
World renowned.
he had his son Abalo went to school with another gentleman named Salvador Carrasco, and they came up with the film. Placido Domingo went ahead and funded it, so the film became the film. Yeah, it's called The Other Conquests. And when I saw this particular film, I began to see how the beauty of the actual of the filmmaking was. And that I began to enhance, and I began to work with the director in and that particular team in taking the film all over the country. And I took them into universities, and then we gave seminars, and we spoke in regards to the conflict back in the day through the movie.
Sure.
What I found was, as I was traveling, every kid was in the computer. I said, you know what, if I go to Harvard, then I want you to let me go down to the ghetto, if there's a ghetto down there. And we did that. I started going and speaking down in the inner cities and showing the film also, while I was in the university showing it. And I began to find out in the schools and the youth centers, they were all in the computer. And every state I went to, they're in computer.
Right.
And so it snapped to me that these kids are into. They're not ignorant. They're not dumb. They just have no joy. They just have no push. There's no vision. There's no dream. There's no hope for them. And just sitting there and listening to the math teacher, sitting there, science. There's no drive to it. This is why technology, what you have going here, it's awesome, man. I commend what you do. And so basically, the kids, I began seeing that. And so I began to develop a collaboration where it said, kids are cool, so are schools. And we did it through film. And so what I did is I began to collaborate where young people now in Santa Monica College, they are really the first that Mr. Carrasco, who is the professor, which did the other conquest, he and I have been together for 15 years. And when I shared with him that, we like to see kids from the inner cities that don't have the monies to pay, to go to these universities and go to film school, what have you. Yeah. So we began a film collaboration with Santa Monica College. And we have 10 films that the kids have shadowed now. The kids go, they shadow. They're 12-year-olds, they're 14, 15. And so we sit down and we tell them, okay, you're not going to school. Why not? You just got a juvenile hall, man. Why are you dressed in that way? Why are you talking like a thug? Talk to me. I've been there. I've done that. My father died of an overdose of heroin. My surroundings was full of gangs. I was a gang member, but I had somebody that reached out to me, and so therefore, we began to get them, and they're now making movies. But the beauty of it is that while they're 12, 13, and 14, they're literally going to a campus.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the most important thing.
Exactly.
Something that you never, coming from.
They never been there.
Certain, yeah.
Instead of taking them on a field trip to a college and then giving them a hamburger and a Coke and okay kids,
right?
No, they go there and they get to study film. They get to
learn something really
they
cool.
Embrace the big red. They embrace first caliber film equipment. And here's the deal: we're not trying to make superstars. We're not doing that. What we want them to know is that the sky's the limit. You'll be a cameraman, be the best cameraman you can be, man.
Yeah, and it's great to start. And I think this counts for a lot of people. Everyone I know that is following their passion now wishes that they had been able to start earlier.
You know something? That's what we get from all the students. The students. I'm talking about the future filmmakers. Okay, what we do is it's mandatory. We get these kids from Bangladesh. We get them from Korea, all over, and they come to the school. There's 30 of them, and then they have to come up with a script. When they come up with the script, the professor makes them move to pick 2 scripts per year. So that means that all 30 students have to get together and they all have to collaborate and assist in making that film. Exactly, on the short film. The beauty of it is that now we bring in young kids to follow the future filmmakers, so they get to touch the cameras, they get to be, and it's just a total. We already have young kids that graduated from here in East LA, that graduated from high school, and are now taking on, they're college students right now taking film.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations on that, man. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you was how long has Operation Street Kids been operating for?
Well, Operation Street Kids has been in operation for the last 15 years. Though my work as a community activist has been close to, I would say, 45 years.
Oh, wow.
I started when I was 14 years of age, when I was incarcerated.
Okay.
I had I had the problem of borrowing the neighbors' cars without their permission.
Ah.
And ended up got sent up for 9 months, at a county facility, and it was there that, I began to become worse. I mean, I began to hang out with the guys and know more, become more streetwise, more, crime focused,
Right,
and
yeah.
but I had a couple of individuals that were counselors there, that one in particular, Rex Morningstar, that just took a liking and began at night, about 10 o'clock at night, he would wake me up in bed and tell me, let's go to the mess hall. And at first I thought he was, this guy was some type of pervert or something, but then I also figured, hey, you know what, I could use this guy to get me out of here,
Sure.
But no, he began saying stuff like, Joe, you have a lot of talent. Joe, you have seeds of a leader, I'm looking at this guy like, what's up, man? This guy's out there, But those seeds began to grow in me. And inside the camp, I became, they have these different positions when you're incarcerated. And here I am, 13 years of age. Well, I took the highest position in that camp, where I was a mediator in conflict.
Okay.
And so I represented all the Latinos, all the Latinos that were incarcerated. And you had an African American and then you had poor white kids. They had nobody,
Oh,
they
really?
just, it's because there wasn't that many, and
Right.
so I mean, but I fell in love with everybody, I became an advocate for everyone. I thought that everybody, deserved a second chance. And that stood with me, and that's why I do what I do today. Because I believe that, that bringing the right tools, I believe that your passion should always embrace compassion.
Yeah, well, that's something that needs to be reiterated in society as often as possible, and the realization that okay, yeah, everyone makes mistakes, but also realizing that the kid that's good at stealing cars, he's going to be good at other
Absolutely.
stuff too.
Absolutely,
There's that kind of
absolutely.
direction there.
Absolutely. I had a individual that was pretty much one of the golden boys back in the computer era. Ran with Gates and all them cats. And I was asked to go and speak to the 49ers, for a game, and I flew down there. They flew me down there, And this guy became a multi-millionaire just through technology. And he became, a mentor to me. And he told me, I have all money you want. He goes, how can I help you? And I told him, I need to get organized. I need to learn how business works, because I want to touch my people. I want to touch individuals that are involved. I want to take them to a higher level, and I need to learn that. Well, Lynn, he became a friend to this day right now. And basically, that's what he said to me. He said, Joe, the kids that you're reaching, if they can stand in the corner and sell all these drugs, if they can go and break in and get away with it, he goes, then they can also reverse all that, and they can be the best businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to train them and build them. So I opened up a 40-acre boys ranch
Oh, really?
that I funded through just celebrities funded it, non-government, because the government always ties their hands. That's why I say we don't have a youth problem; we have an adult problem. I mean, come on. I mean, all this violence and all this hatred.
Yeah, it's the
and
correctional
it's
system
that's what it
that
is.
has created. I mean, maybe not intentionally, but has not helped.
There's good cops and there's bad cops, and many of them are fearful. I mean, you don't have Cub Scouts today, man, in prison. these guys have become masters, in their trade, and they're
Yeah.
serious, But we've created that. We've created that. We pushed them out of school. We labeled them because of the color of their skin. We've created all that. We, you know,
Well, yeah, and it perpetuates when you get involved in a system, and then now because of that, you can't get a good job,
right.
you can't get into school, you can't pass a background
Right.
check for anywhere, and so you're locked
You're
in this
absolutely.
kind of.
I have a kid right now that I have a number of kids that I just found his letter from a teacher, and he's doing 15 years to life. He was arrested for he was arrested at 15, and now they have a new law, that it's the gang enhancement and the gun enhancement, and so they can now
Bump up sentences.
oh yeah, at 15, 16, they trial you as an adult, and so I became very much involved in that. Still am, you know, but at the same time, I have pretty much put all my focus now on the little ones. I find that at fifth grade, it all begins. The drama begins at the fifth grade, and the real issue that I find is that every kid doesn't. They weren't born thugs. They weren't born thieves. They weren't born that way. I find that the majority of these kids that I talk to when I get alone with them in their cells, they basically have a broken heart, and that broken heart comes from mo- the, the the king and the queen of their hearts as babies. Negative jigo, all right. They don't. They want everything they want is just to be held by their daddy and the mommy.
Sure.
At zero, they're about. By the time they get to 5 years of age, they start seeing mom and dad in conflict. Dad takes off. They see all the badness. They see that. They hear that. They live that. They begin to mimic that. Their heart gets broken to see the father beating up on the mother going out with somebody else, or the mother doing drugs or alcohol. Their hearts is broken, and so they go to school with a broken heart. You see, and it ain't until you heal that broken heart. How do you heal it? You heal it by words of greatness. Words heal. It's where we begin to embrace them and take them to a new course of lifestyle. No
Yeah,
matter what,
absolutely.
you just love them. And there's some other photos that we've had here. I don't know if you
Yeah, yeah, we've heard
that
a
we need
lot
to
about
take
the
a look at
program,
those
and I want, yeah,
because we could
definitely.
really expound on that.
Yeah, start looking at some of the specifics of what we're doing here. Now, this is the Operation Street Kids
That's
logo.
correct. I am the founder of it. We created. Now, this young man right here, this gentleman is a window Tyler. He played for the San Francisco 49ers. This is a juvenile camp where they're incarcerated.
Okay.
This young man came through our course. I gave a 12-week course on negative jigo, positive jigo, and preparing them to come home and how to make it. And so, doing that, Mr. Tyler, I mentored him for many years. He basically embraced what we were doing, and now he has his own program. It's called Dare to Dream. And what we do then is he is very much active in bringing kids to the understanding that sports has an ability to get them through scholarships. Today,
Sure.
they could, if they keep their grades up to par and stay true to their game of life, they can basically, go on. And maybe they might not make it to the NFL, they might not NBA, but
But they'll get
they
their
got they
education.
got they got an education now. And
Yeah.
without an education today, forget it. Forget it. I mean, yeah, and I tell these guys, you can't put tattoos, man. I mean, you're 12 years old, you're talking about putting tattoos. That don't go, man.
Right.
Because even the service now won't take you with those tattoos. I mean, you get on Facebook and you start talking about all this gang stuff and everything, man. Guess what? somebody wants to hire you, man, they can just boom, shoot that.
Yeah,
It's over,
employers are
man.
looking at
It's
your
over. Yeah.
Facebook and yeah, looking for every reason to not hire
That's
you.
correct. That's correct.
So, and now what building are we in here? Is this a place
This
that's
is a
local
place.
or?
No, yeah, this is up in the mountains. There are 18 juvenile detention centers. One of them is called Central, which is on Mission. It is East Lake. It is the largest juvenile hall in the entire nation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Basically, I went through there. I was there at 13 years of age.
Okay.
And it's a county facilities, and what they do is they have camps up in the mountains, and they send these kids there for anywhere from 3 to 9 months. Okay. And basically, this is one of the camps here. There was a movie called what was that? Football with the football movie with The Rock, and that's where they filmed it. And
okay.
that's Camp Kilpatrick. And so basically, there was like at that time was about 60 kids there, and these kids are anywhere from the ages of 13 through 18 years of age. That's where this is at, and there's hundreds of them. So now, but the budgets and what have you. So right now, like I said, the adults, they don't know what to do. They come up with program after program. You're talking about billions of dollars, billions. They bring in different individuals that they have book knowledge, but many don't have street knowledge.
Sure.
And it takes both. That just happens to be something that's
someone knowing what they're actually
exactly
going through in addition to.
Exactly, and the kids they can read you. They see you coming in, and this young little girl. This is one of the girls that's involved in the filming. So as you can see, she's all excited, and as a matter of fact, this particular film went on to this one here went on to win many awards. It was a short film, and we filmed there in her neighborhood, and so
really?
here she is, taking part.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like what better way, to get people enthusiastic about what they're doing.
And this one here is what we did. SC has a fantastic music program.
This is the University of Southern California.
That's right. That's right. And so what we did is I went to this place called El Hoyo, the Hole. It's in Highland Park. It was known as one of the most vicious, tough gang infested neighborhood. We went there and we began a project there on filming, and this is where we got these kids. And then what we did, SC came and they wanted to basically. So I said, why don't you just go in and teach a class? All these kids were awesome. These kids were they were amazed. They just they embraced the beauty of music.
Yeah.
And we're talking about classical music, not, because, but they really were able to take a look at the beauty of classical music. That was really an impact. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great when when you get introduced to a new type of music and can actually see the people performing it, and be like, oh, that's what that sound
Exactly.
is, and
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see. So this is
Okay, this here was that if you see, there's a hill, and that hill had been pretty much all dirt. And so therefore, for the last 30 years, these kids had to go when it rained, the kids had to go up that mountain to catch the bus to go to school.
Okay.
With strollers and all this, the parents were falling when it would rain. So the kids they protested, and what they did is they went ahead and came up with their own script, and they developed a short film, and they sent it to the councilman there, and all of a sudden they said, when I was 2 years old, you promised my parents that you were going to fix this place, and here I am, 13 years old now, and the place is not fixed.
Right.
We demand change, right? In a matter of 4 weeks, they got back to us. They gave the kids $150,000, came in, made the ramp, and so we teach them how to advocate.
Sure.
Not to bully their ways through, but we teach them how to use positive advocacy, and because we teach them to believe that our minds are like a parachute. They're usable only when they're open.
Right.
All right, and so we're celebrating that they came in, and the kids were also, it was a lesson for them because the parents saw that their kids did this, okay, through the short film that we did, right?
Yeah.
And then the beauty of seeing these big old rigs and the bulldozers coming and literally doing the job every day. It took about at least 2 months, right?
Right.
So it put in the minds of the parents, and it put in the minds of the children that, all things are possible.
Right. Yeah, you taught them how to do a thing, and they used it to, enact change in the community.
And every day when they drive up and they come down or they get the stroller, they got the ramp, they got every it reminds them,
Yeah.
that
Yeah, absolutely.
we made this
Yeah, we
happen.
did this.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Man.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was about 2 years ago, and yeah, that was 2 years ago. Now a lot of these kids now are doing film, and many of them are going out to college, and so we're excited about these kids.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Got a few more here.
This
Where's
here is where we were shooting. This young girl here, we basically utilized young kids that were from the community. They came to do acting for the first time. Yeah, yeah. We took them to the actual college, and they began to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were. That was one of their visits to the college.
Yeah.
That's where we literally do our. These are the field trips that we take. And so, and that was the field trip with the kids.
Yeah, very cool. Here, you actually get to do something
Yeah.
and like be interactive.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a modeling here in Highland Park. These are young girls that never modeled in their lives, and so therefore we began to do a show for them, and we were able to put a show of modeling. They designed their own clothing, and then we taught them. As you can see, them do their posture.
Sure. Yeah.
And if you look at, I won't pinpoint nobody, but these kids do not live in an ivory castle. Some of these kids live in a one-bedroom with 5, 6 other kids with them, and
Yeah.
and this builds their self-esteem. It builds their confidence, and from there we're able to let them know that taking the proper steps, the sky is the limit for you.
Yeah, and as opposed to like a government program that would be like, well, modeling, what's the point?
Exactly. You're on something here because that's the issue. Art. I mean, I know of kids that tell me, what, art changed my life just recently.
Right. Yeah.
Acting. We have a young guy named Johnny. We'll bring Johnny here. He basically was in America Crime, the series.
Okay.
And he grew up right here. You know what I mean? And he literally embraced acting as a just as community service. And
Right.
here the young man now is developing his own program now, and McFarland, USA. He was one of the main actors there, with Kevin Costner.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And now he is spinning it to open doors for kids in the neighborhoods. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, it's not just about walking down a runway.
No, it's not.
many other skills
In
involved.
Hollywood's our backyard. Here that we live here in LA, right?
Right.
It's our backyard, and the kids can't even play in that backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about it's about jewelry. It's about culinary arts. It could be a camera, technology, computers. I mean, there's fashion clothing. I mean,
Right,
it's
yeah.
all in the making, and that's the beauty of short films. On a professional gig like the school, Santa Monica College, that we offer, they're able to see, doing hair. One gal, I was hoping she would, take a look at writing, but she fell in love with lighting. Lighting. She said, I want to do lighting, and lighting is very important.
Sure.
Very important.
Yeah,
And
it's
it pays well.
all pieces of a puzzle that
Absolutely.
fit together.
We just completed last week. This was a Christmas special that we did. We gave over 500 toys away in the corner of Whittier Boulevard here, Whittier and Atlantic. The kid on my left here, that young kid, he's one of our mentees that is being trained how to become journalism.
Okay.
And this young girl is only 15 years of age, and she's also she's going to be a writer and a social worker. And this is them interviewing at work. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great stuff. then
As you can
stuck
see here, this young man that I'm embracing right now, his name is Diamond. We had to bring him come and sing. He basically can go head to head with Justin Bieber. The guy writes his music. I mean,
Oh,
he's
really?
had him since he was 12 years of age. Now he's a writer, he's a composer. He's fantastic. And so here you find this other young Francisco, the young man down over here, uh, um, you know, um, mom and pops, difficult, with the family. And now he's going to Santa Monica College. It's amazing,
Yeah, excellent. It seems like a
Um,
lot of success stories coming out. That's
yes,
great.
yes, that's what it's all about.
And I recognize the guy in the middle.
Yeah, that almost, and basically, Anthony Quinn, was a tremendous icon for me and for many. And downtown LA, there is a mural that was made of him 30 some years ago. And Eloy Torres, who is a local here, and he's one of the phenomenal artists, he's world renowned. He's with Chic Marin, Chicano art project that he's rolling with right now.
Okay.
He did the mural like 30 some years ago. And basically, thanks to Jose Huizar, that he was able to come to the rescue. We were advocating right there. That's advocating, and we were calling. We had a press conference to get the money so that we could restore the mural. And about a year later, Huizar came through along with some other wonderful people. So the mural is now being restored. Once it becomes restored, our kids that want to be artists, they're going to go ahead and shadow the artist where it's being restored.
Okay.
And Mr. Olmos was extremely
Yeah, he
big
seems
help.
like he's involved in
Very
a
much so,
fair
very
amount
much
of
so.
advocacy stuff.
Very much so.
And
That's the mural. It's a little bit, that's the mural. Let's see, can we,
unfortunately, I'm not
maybe
sure
we can, huh? But that's the mural, as you can see.
So that's the finished, the restored mural now?
No, it's going to be restored. As you
Okay.
can see, it's kind of beat up, and that's what we wanted to show. It's falling apart, and this mural should be restored.
Yeah.
And we were able to activate, become active, and the kids were able to come in. So once again, they're changing people's minds for the positive.
Yeah, yeah,
You
absolutely.
see,
And that's
that's
the
what
most
these
important.
kids are learning, and they're learning that working together as a team, it works. It works, yeah.
Yeah, it's I usually on the show here, we talk about a lot of things that are going wrong in the world and trying to raise awareness about that, whether it's locally or worldwide. And so,
I see it this way: a battery for a vehicle, it has a negative and it has a positive.
right,
If you don't put the negative, if it's not on the cable, and you got a positive on the cable, it's not going to start.
right,
If you take the positive cable off and you put the negative, it's not going to start. So you got to put the negative and you got to put the positive
right.
to get that car rolling. And it is time that we have to look at the negative and capitalize from it.
Yeah, instead of just putting it in a cage and saying, no, we don't want to deal with this at all.
Exactly. We have to take we have to release the third eye, which is the third eye of greatness.
Right, yeah. Yeah, a lot of mythologies worldwide talking about that
The
kind of
third eye.
balance.
Don't tell me crossing the street that it's a duck. It's a dog.
Right.
Let's get real now. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't tell me that, there's so many kids, that that are no longer in prison. Just take a look at it. Take a real look at the statistics and why. And how can we you cannot you take a car to a mechanic, he ain't gonna roll on it until he knows what the hell's wrong with it. Or with the doctor. You can't go to a doctor and tell him,
Yeah, doctor's not just going to go whittling around.
Yeah, right.
with the stick.
You really, your ears, it's hollering with pain, but you're telling him that it's in the toe.
Right.
This is where it's at right here. Let's get this fixed right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, so yeah, we're kind of running a little bit short on time, but
Okay.
I definitely wanted to highlight some positive things, and I try and amidst all the kind of like doom and gloom stuff, I try and offer solutions.
Sure.
What can you do? Like there's some things messed up, but there's also a lot of power that people still have to affect change, and so
Every person has a story, and every child will listen to a story. When you get off, the poor me syndrome, and take a look around you, and start impacting and embracing other people's lives, it's phenomenal. It's amazing to see the change in people's lives. I spoke to a father today, and he was just beating himself. I said, "Man, you're a good father." He said, "No one's ever told me that, man." I said, just the fact that you're calling me up and telling me what's going on in your home with your son,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and telling me that you don't know how, but you want to help him go further. That's a great, you're a good father, man.
Yeah.
You don't beat yourself up. Let's start there. You see, so there's a lot of work to be done, and I believe that greatness is indulged in everybody. I believe that it is like gold. You go to a minefield, and you got to remove all the gut, all the mud, all the dirt but you got to keep your eyes on the goal, not on the dirt, not on the mine, not in. You got to look at the goal, and every
Right.
kid has a heart of gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think society in general would be well served to start looking at it that way, and instead of just punishment.
That's right.
Punishment doesn't really
It
accomplish a whole
doesn't,
lot
and I
after a
believe, I
while.
believe, I believe that if your passion is really true and is embracing compassion, money follows your dream, and your dream has to be bigger than any Mickey Mouse excuse.
Right. Yeah,
You got to
absolutely.
wake up like that every morning.
Well, it's been inspirational talking to you,
No,
Joseph.
thank you.
Thank you
It
so
was
much for
great
coming on here.
embracing that burrito over there at A&B's, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
and thank you for
Yeah,
just
just
taking us on.
yeah, and also just such an odd like chance meeting, that we
Yeah,
got, happened to
yeah,
talk, over grabbing some food at the same place. So
that was great.
yeah, definitely shout out to the universe for putting you in
Absolutely,
front of me that day,
absolutely.
and to
Whatever we could do for you, I'm a wide receiver. We'll receive any need that
sure,
we're
yeah,
here,
yeah.
we're here, we're
Well,
here.
yeah, no, and you let me know if there's anything I can do to help out in
Thank
any
you so
way.
much. Thank you. Yeah,
But yeah, so for all of you watching at home, uh, Happy New Year to you. It's a new start, and
absolutely.
there is stuff that you can do. Be involved, be compassionate. Sometimes that's not where the money is at first, but it is what makes a difference in the world. So keep on keeping on, and at the end of the day, wherever you're going, get there safe. Thanks once again to
Once
Joseph.
again, yeah. Remember, man. Remember, don't do drugs. Don't overindulge, and don't do stress. And be
Right.
blessed.
Take care, everyone. Happy New Year.
Bye bye. Peace.